All right, it looks like we are live. Can somebody online give me the thumbs up if you can hear us? Okay, thank you, Dana. All right, well,
There are two more people in the waiting room.
can we admit? Hey, TJ, how are you? There's dinner over there if you want to grab anything to eat. Okay, I know we have a couple more people who will be logging in, but in the interest of time, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to our January Académie Lafayette board meeting, the first of the new year. Hopefully everybody had a good break. Happy New Year. And today will be a fun board meeting. We have our normal agenda, but we have a student who is going to give us a little tour of the building, which will be fun. We also have some Stuco reps listening in, rolling their eyes. One of them happens to be my daughter. She didn't want me to mention, but they're curious what the board does. So welcome to our Stuco members. Thank you for coming tonight.
Good.
And I promise not to talk to you anymore tonight. Okay, so to start with, hopefully everybody got a chance to take a look at the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve our agenda?
I want to make a change to the agenda. We do need to go into closed session for just a moment to approve the special board meeting minutes because we need to sign them for the audit. So
Okay.
we need to go and approve and sign. So,
It'll be very brief.
yes, very brief. So I do need a motion to approve that change.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Everyone in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. I don't believe we have any stakeholder comments, correct? Nobody signed up today? Okay. You'll see in the folder, you should have seen there were 2 minutes. We had 2 meetings in December, so can I get a motion to approve both the December 12th and 30th meeting minutes?
So moved.
Right. We have a second. You. Any discussion? Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, so we will start our meeting today with a tour that everybody's welcome to join us on. Who's leading our tour today?
Can I see this?
Yes, that would be awesome.
Now, 2 students, Lily Tokens and Sam Meany, high school students here.
Hi.
What year are you all?
11. We're juniors.
Awesome.
Juniors. Fabulous. Thank you for your help today. Okay, so we will follow you.
So you got a couple options, walk the stairs, take the elevator.
Okay.
I recommend the elevator. The stairs are painful. All right.
have a meeting. Did you need to leave the porch slide? No. Yeah, I got it. Oh, you're on the 20 for the shipping. Oh, shit. Good.
Are you unmuted now?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome back from the tour. Thank you for taking a few minutes to go see what's going on upstairs. I do think they've done a really impressive job with the facilities updates, with the programming. So it was nice to meet the students as well. I appreciate you setting that up for us. Okay. Are we live? Is that me? Okay, no, that's good. It's live, so that's good. It's working. Okay, so next, Michelle, as you're about to take a bite. We gonna do governance?
Absolutely. Two things. Our next board meeting lands on the first Monday of spring break, so we're proposing moving it up a week. Mr. Bang, did you talk to your staff? Will that date work okay?
Yes, I think it's gonna work.
Okay.
Because, we don't have a lot, how do you say it, the agenda is not very heavy there.
Is that finance?
Yeah, the finance piece.
Hurry, but, okay, well, great, then we'll, get that changed on calendars. And then looking at, annual retreat date of June 24th. So if people can look at their schedules, and we'll send out an email as well, but just if there's any conflict, we need to look at other dates rather than later.
So I'll get that calendar invite, both of those calendar invites out. And if that doesn't work for somebody, please decline the invite so we know if we are gonna need to look at different dates. On the calendar invites for board meetings, I will assume that people are coming in person unless you tell me otherwise. So just let me know if there are times that you can't be in person. It's always really nice. It's much easier to have a conversation with everybody here. So appreciate everybody being here. The other piece that you'll get, we did want to do a board self-assessment that I mentioned before the break, but things were so busy for everybody, we didn't want to add that to people's list. But you'll see an email. It's just a simple survey. It's a self-assessment to really figure out where are we as a board and what are the things internally that we can work on and what are the skills that we might need to add to the board as well. So it's a very short survey that we'll do. I think it'll be open for 2 weeks from the time that I send it, so you'll see that email shortly, and then we'll get the results back and think about what does that mean we need to focus on as a board. So.
Just to let one know, that one of the reasons why we move it earlier than after the break is, there may be a discussion about salary, and we don't know what would be the decision of the board, and we want to start very early offering, contracts, and so on.
Right, and at our February meeting, we'll talk about sort of what those revised contracts would look like, but then we need to vote on it in early March to make sure we're in time for teacher contracts and all of that. So.
I'll go ahead and put in a hold for the office used for 24th.
Oh, awesome, okay, yes. I mean, that was a great space.
Yeah.
It was
Should be
good
available
parking.
here, so.
Okay, fabulous, yeah, we will plan on that then, if that works for you. If you could hold that, I'm sure there's not a lot going on Saturday mornings.
Nope.
So, it's all hours, okay, excellent. All right, next up, finance, and I'm gonna have, there was a mention, it's nice to see who's talking, so I'm gonna have them sit with you so people can see him on the camera.
You can start to put my thing over there. Yeah. Oh, no, that's fine. If you wanna.
Little rearranging.
Let me do this. You can sit there and do what you want. Okay. So that whoever is talking can hopefully select to connect.
So in Finance Committee, we talked over the ones that were included in the finance packet. We did spend a little extra time on Nathan Clark, just talked a little bit more about Nathan Clark. He purchased Chromebooks for us, 92 Chromebooks, and that was for the 4th grade. There was one central office Windows PC included in that as well, but the Chromebooks came out to about $400 a piece on the Chromebooks. So again, that was for the fourth grade. 1-to-1 is what we were doing on that. So we just spent a little extra time talking about that. We also talked about if it was in the budget. It was included in the budget. At least those numbers fit in line with the budget, so just wanted to make sure that's known. Did anyone have any questions over the accounts payable transactions that went out with the finance package?
Not specifically about finances, but is fourth grade the first year we're 1-to-1 on laptops?
Because the group that are moving, remember that at some point we decided not to do 1-to-1 in kindergarten and first grade, and I think in second grade.
Right.
So unfortunately, the group is moving. People are taking their computer and moving with that, their Chromebooks and moving with that. There's a grade where they did not have the 1-to-1. We had to buy it for them and to be even.
Got it.
Is there a plan for any additional ones coming out?
No, we're fine. It's one grade that did not needed a 1-to-1.
Got it. Will you admit to people from the waiting room since you're at the computer? Sorry. Yeah. We'll figure out how to do this differently next time, but
go to view, yeah.
One of them is just me, so I can see what's going on, but.
And that video.
Thank you.
And close it. Yes, close up there, yes, the red button.
Red button?
Yeah.
All right.
Looks like you got a Windows user over here.
You're right.
We forgive you.
I'm assimilating. So we'll need a motion to approve those accounts payable transactions.
I'll move to approve the December accounts payable.
I second it.
I'll go. I need a second. Any discussion? Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
So for the financial statements for the month of November, so we're talking about November, some historical data here. From a cash in, cash out perspective, we received more than we spent by $23,000. And so from a cumulative standpoint, July through November, we received more than we spent by $500,000, so $496,000. Through November, we're looking just fine. And one thing I did want to point out, though, in December, there is a negative adjustment to basic formula. So DESI took away $112,000 that they would have paid out to us. It is a pending item. We're still trying to work with DESI. They flagged it as there could be a calculation error, and so we're still working through that. But I did want to just make that known to the board that there is a possible prior year adjustment. They're reducing our basic formula by $112,000.
And is that in regards to how we calculated attendance, or what's the calculation?
It's possibly with ADA. So we submitted 1294. It might be associated with that. It should have been 1260 possibly. I've also reached out to our data person where we were at loss. So.
If you could let us know what you find out, like what it ended up being, that would be great.
Yep. I will follow up with you on that. Next item, so we've already talked about you'll need to sign the approved minutes from the special board meeting, so I'll just need that so I can upload it to Desi's portal. Next, I just want to talk about the debt refinance. So we were wanting to do the debt refinance. The original goals there were to get ahead or beat the interest rate hikes that we knew were coming. Also, it was a solution to the funding glitch, because we weren't expecting to have funding as quickly as DESI fixed that, or at least implemented that change. So as a stopgap, we were trying to just come up with some additional solutions to balance the budget. Also, an additional goal there was we could have some additional funds for capital projects. But Central Bank was having difficulty finding a loan participant because the rate was at a lower than it was below the current interest rates that were on. So they had found a participant that was willing to also participate in the loan at 6.25%, and they were also going to pay 2% on our $2 million deposits. However, experts are saying that it's anticipated that rates may increase once more in the near term, hold steady for a while, and then start to decrease again. There's obviously factors that come into play here, the ongoing war in Ukraine, China lockdowns, and so these are just predictions. No one holds the crystal ball to interest rates, and so that's why the bank, our bank looks at a variety of economists and different sources. And so the committee decided against moving forward with refinance. And there's a few different reasons there. So those original intents, the intents that we had to beat the interest rate hikes, again, it was an original intent to balance the budget. We don't need to balance the budget anymore. I mean, we're budgeting a surplus at this point, so that need is no longer needing to be met. And then with the current information on interest rates that they should taper off again or fall in April 2024, we've made the decision to hold off on that refinance. Now, this does impact the budget revision that we proposed that was approved the last board meeting, and so it does be affected by $100,000. But I do want to remind you, this year we're still positive. We're to flip back a few slides, the July through November, cash in, cash out, we received more than we spent by $500,000. So even if we were to eat into that surplus, we'd be at a positive $400,000. And so, like I said, we've decided to hold off on that debt refinance. Any questions on debt refinance?
And is the thinking that once, as we watch interest rates, if they do in fact go down, that at that time we would sort of revisit?
Yes, and so we do have debt that matures in 2024, and so we will need to refinance at that point in time. And so it's still an ongoing item. We're still in discussions with the bank, and we will need to refinance. It's just not going to happen in the next few months. It'll probably need to happen this time next year.
Michael, anything else from Finance Committee that you think we should do?
Just also on that cash in, cash out perspective, with that $100,000 and possibly the DESI, where they've taken away $112,000, we were looking at a surplus of $500,000 that we talked about last month. Now we'd be down to $300,000 surplus. So still surplus, which is better than complete break even. So still looking good.
Thank you.
You can leave it. That's fine.
There we go.
So, some recognition. Again, I just want to thank the board for approving all these expenses to make this room beautiful and great, plus all the safety pictures that we're going to install for our school. For the recognition, we have the Cherry World Cup Committee. Remember that Cherry did a very fun World Cup, organized there, a lot of fun, and they used the field here to play, and it was a lot of fun during the World Cup. So this is the committee: Edward Gibbard, Daniel Coates, Molay Seydi, Mustafa Ould Ahmed, Sheila Baskin, Adam Smith, Wendy Sherbert, Mademba Gay, and Edward Asigno. So this is the team. They really had a lot of fun. It was in November, December. So OAK is recognizing the social committee. So each building has a social committee to see how you can help teachers and make it more fun and taking care of teachers' well-being. So we have here Justin Jones, Krista Peeler, and Andy Dampier organized for the whole staff on a regular basis. Monthly meal for the staff, celebrations, Happy Fridays for the social event. Thank you for your contribution to the well-being of our teachers. So for the program report, talk about human resource first. We have finished assessing our needs for next year. That's what we do every year. We do our enrollment projection. Put what we think is going to be the attrition for next year and how many teachers we need. It's already done. And the principals are working on the hiring for 23-24 school year. Positions are posted and will continue to be updated. Principals will start screening and schedule interviews. So also this year, principals are conducting what's called intent to stay or what is called stay interview. I think I may have told you already, our principals are part of a program funded by School Smart Casey called EdFuel, how to help with human resource. One of the things they're doing is talking to some of the teachers to make sure that if there is anything we can prevent before they say we're leaving to deal with that. So it's called stay interview. January 3rd was a school improvement day, so what we did was we gave teachers more time to just plan and be ready. That's what they really needed, other than a couple of meetings for the coordination of math teachers here and also a reading program that we're trying to pilot in first grade.
I would just say this is the first year we've done the interviews for intent to stay, correct? Have those happened in the past? Right. I think it's a great idea just to sort of help build relationships with teachers to understand, to your point, are there things that we might be able to do to support them and make it?
I'll give an example. Last year we lost a teacher who was really, really dumb. We lost a teacher because of a visa issue, H-1B or not, and at last time the teacher thought the visa wasn't moving forward, and it was moving forward. Between the transition in June, the next thing we know, she was gone. It was unfortunate. We don't want to have those things.
Yeah.
Student learning, we continue to focus on reading, on K3, especially because we know that second grade last year, based on the NWA needed more reinforcement. We're doing it. We have worked in the first semester with Lead to Read, and the program showed really good progress. And we continue to support the third graders and the kindergarten first graders too. Because I'm sure parents, especially parents in first grade, going to second grade, they start having some concern about reading, and they don't realize that no matter what, our kids, by the time they get to wherever they should be, will outperform their peers. But we need to make sure that those parents understand it, and then we're focusing on helping them. We're piloting a reading approach with few first grade classes, focusing on phonics, and then it's a hybrid. We'll see how it's going to look like at the end of the school year for generalization, if possible, next school year. As I told you, 6th and 12th grade curriculum math coordination here. As you know, we have a high school now, and our goal is to put more and more students at the IB diploma level. And now we can know can realize what our challenges, and then work together and see how, once they get to 6th grade, how do we make sure those kids get the full IB diploma. So we started the conversation, working with those teachers and brainstorm and see what kind of measures we can take to make sure that all those kids will be ready for the full IB by the time they reach 11th and 12th grade. Just to let you know, at this point, we have at least 50% of our kids doing the full IB, taking it. If you in a typical high school, it's probably 10% or 15% doing it. So the safety part, as I said, the intercom was approved, and the installation at ARM will start on January 15, and then another 15 days for oak and cherry, so that by mid-March, everything would be installed for our new buildings. We're also in the process of changing this playground I saw here. It's going to be replaced. Probably the process will be taking it down and ordering, taking it down and replacing it will be done by April. So Académie Lafayette also is our Health and Safety Committee has unanimously approved the adoption of the MOSEP in emergency operating planning. So it's a tool that all the three campuses will use, and there's a grant for that too. Megan Weisman is the nurse at Cherry, has been instrumental in ensuring the move forward. So that's something that we're gonna make sure that we have a plan for emergency revisit with professionals for our building. As I said, remember that one of our goals this year is beefing up our safety and security for buildings. So again, the Raptor also is going to move forward is that system that helps identify if there's anybody that might be of concern coming to our buildings. Will be moved forward to. Any questions for me?
That's great.
I'm sure that Pam is kind of lost with old how the school is figured on. Thank you.
If that first grade pilot program is the name.
French. No, it's French. French. It's French. It's reinforcing reading in kindergarten, first grade, in French, not English. Yeah, it's a kind of hybrid approach. So any other questions? We move to the
I do have a question, I'm sorry.
Yes.
The principals, are they currently conducting those interviews? Is that what the slide is saying?
Yes.
They're going to start, okay.
They started.
Okay, because I think typically in late February, March is when we ask them to sort of sign an intent to return. And so before they sign that, we want to sort of do these interviews with them to make sure we understand,
Yes, it is in mid-February that we usually send the intent to return, asking teacher if you want to return or not. If you intend to leave, not return. If you intend to leave, let us know. So that, that's how we plan also our need for report. But this year we really want to offer the contract much earlier than before.
right, which is why we need to have the discussion as a board, sort of what those contracts look like, what updated salaries are. Because retention, I think, is something that everyone is struggling so tremendously with, and it really is difficult. And so being really purposeful in that, I think, is a great point.
Yeah, we have three teachers we have to temporarily replace anyway for things that unfortunately out of our how do you say, our will. Mm-hmm. And it's hard in January having temporary to replace three teachers is really tough. At least one of them was replaced, so it's hard. There's no.
I want to share an update. I think you are getting close to finalizing sort of plans with Madam Niobe's family to help them.
Yeah. We're very close to that. The replacement have been done too. We hired somebody that worked with Jean-Claude during the winter break to onboard a teacher, and she's now in the classroom.
Wow. That was fast. I know that class desperately needs it. They've had a lot of transition.
She met the parents. She was there on Friday. Is the first lunch, the first lunch of the month. So. Okay, do you have?
The only final thing I would draw attention to, hopefully everybody has been looking at the materials that we get ahead of the board meeting. You'll see the update on the enrollment numbers, which we used to get in person, but I think we talked about just having as much in the folder as possible. That is something that worries me, that as a board, I think we need to really pay close attention to. I know we're going to talk about it in the diversity committee, but the numbers are not where we want them to be, right? Pre-COVID, we had a lot of strong relationships and communities that really, were purposely recruiting from. Over COVID, we lost those relationships. There's been turnover. We have an impossible time hiring a teacher to sort of teach pre-K in some of the programs that we really would like to have strong relationships with. So I just want to make sure everybody sort of sees that. If anybody has ideas of ways we can continue to sort of build back those relationships, or people that we should be talking with in our efforts of recruitment, that will be a really important piece, because you all will remember this year we didn't get to sort of the 50-50 sort of percentages that we hoped to really have the diversity in our classrooms that we want to have. So it is definitely something that worries me to have a second year where we're not where we want to. We have plenty of time to sort of get there, but I just wanted to make sure that people saw that it is definitely something that we're thinking.
Yeah, I'm also watching that at the same time.
And I saw in the newsletter, it looks like we are hiring, they said they can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, you know what? I think these lost batteries.
But the screen, no?
See you a little.
I can't hear. Sorry, I can't hear. At first we could hear, but it sounded like Beth was far away. And now we can't hear at all. No, sorry, still can't hear you. Nope. Were you able to select your microphone and your speakers? If you unmute and try, maybe. No, I still can't. I see you. I see your face moving, but I can't hear. That's it. Well, I can hear Beth. Can you guys hear me? We can hear you. It just sounds like you're a little far away. When you
Okay.
first
Well,
came
we're
on, I
almost
could,
at the end.
okay.
We're all-
Now it sounds like
almost
there's
at the
a,
end, so you don't need to hear much. Sounds terrible, but that's
oh,
what we
this
lost.
is,
Sounds terrible, but
okay, we're not getting any sound from Elamon's device. We got some pretty good sound from your device, Beth, for a second.
Okay, can you guys hear me? And then turn your sound off. Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna get this wrapped up. Final question. Any last thoughts about the diversity recruitment? You all will have seen, we are not trying to do a get together in January. Everybody is very busy. We'll try again later. Okay, yes, but I don't know what happened there. We'll make sure that doesn't happen at our next meeting. Any final thoughts before we close? It's good to see everybody. Oh, right, we need a quick closed session. Okay, can I get a motion to approve closed session to approve minutes?
I move to go into closed session.
Thank you.
Approve
Okay. Any discussion? Everyone in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Oh, wait, roll call. Thank you. Michael? Gwen?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Michelle? TJ?
Yes.
Lauren? Yes. Beth? Yes. Okay. We will go into a very quick closed session. Because of our issues online, we're gonna let online log off. We have enough for a quorum here to approve the minutes. So you guys, everybody online can go ahead and log off. Thank you all.
Something like that.
I know. I don't know. At least we don't really need it anymore, so. Okay, so I'm gonna hang this up.
Just take a couple minutes to read those. Beth, if you can sign.
Okay, excellent.
Sign a date of December 31.
Yeah. Somebody have a pen?
Yes, I do.
There you go. Well, luckily they can't hear anything.